before, how do you believe we're inferior to other countries, or what country do you believe is better than the United States?
52,000 people can fight 2 million people. No, obviously not. Obviously not. And you should know this. You're a veteran. You are a literal veteran.
Marilyn Mays, yeah. Stephen Crowder, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Stephen.
So I just want to make sure that, just to recap here, I said I believe the United States is still the greatest country in the world, superior to all other countries, in my opinion. You're welcome to change my mind. And you said last week, maybe, but this week, an all-time low. What do you mean?
This week, last week, and even this week, we're at an all-time low.
Okay.
You know, I'm just so exhausted over these children, these toddlers being taken.
Yeah.
And I need you to help me understand why we would take babies and toddlers, because in the work I do, it looks to me like since the Russians won't give us babies, they're going to take the little children that just came here and adopt them out.
Since the who won't give us babies?
Russians. You know, the deal fell through in Trump Towers.
That's what you think it was about. That's a joke.
So if you guys don't know what's going on, my name is Elifar Jojo. I'm a college grad student studying electronics engineering, and today we're going to be covering a Democratic veteran arguing that America is not a superior country. It always confuses me when I see Americans fighting tooth and nail to prove that America is not superior. The reason it confuses me is because I look at America like a house. Like your house. I don't care if someone has more money or a bigger house than me. I will always say my house is the best house because it's my house. But when it comes to America, America is the most successful country. Arguably, you can say other places are close, but America is the most successful country. We have freedoms, we have everything, and Americans still don't really have a lot of nationalism. But I'm not going to give my opinions as of yet. I'm going to hear what she has to say, and let's get into it.
Yeah, right.
Well, let me ask this before we get, because you're obviously aware of Trump's executive order now.
I am.
Okay, so now they're not going to be separated. They're going to be detained together. So is that progress?
As of this morning, they still are.
Well, yeah, it takes a while, but are you happier about that?
I was really happy about it, and then when I saw the loophole that right after, you know, that last paragraph at the very end, not paragraph, the last phrase at the very end, and I went, same stuff, different day.
Yeah.
And then Melania's jacket.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you though.
Man.
Hold on. So this has been a week that obviously you disagree with some, the Obama and Clinton policies, the Flores to consent policy. So your problem isn't with Trump, it's with the Clintons and Obamas. But let me ask you this: does that change? Do you disagree with the premise that the United States is the greatest country in the world, that it's superior to all other countries, or is it just that you're a little worn down from the news week?
I think we're falling in stature. I think that, we've been I've been upset since G7, okay? I've been falling apart since G7, because how would we do our allies like that? This man is just dismantling America, the respect that we have. I can remember last year and the year before going on cruises, and Pete just having to apologize for this country. I've never had to apologize for my country. I'm a veteran. I don't understand.
Thank you for your service.
And it's like I'm up here having to apologize.
For what?
Because people say, for Trump?
How so?
Because he's a humiliation. He's an embarrassment. He doesn't know the King's English.
Okay.
He cannot hold a decent conversation. I don't believe he went to Wharton School of Business. I think somebody else took his test. He is ignorant. Because, a lot of people would send folk to take their test back in the day.
Yeah,
okay?
I had a guy who actually, he would do that when he would weigh in for wrestling practice. He had a twin brother, and his brother would weigh in. But let me ask you, I get that you're not a fan of Donald Trump, and there are a lot of things that I'm not a fan of his either, but I probably support more policies of his than you do, but not all of them. But again, I want to go back to the premise today is the United States is the greatest country in the world. What do you apologize to people for? How do you believe we're inferior to other countries, or what country do you believe is better than the United States?
So the veteran is an obvious opposer of Donald Trump, and she believes that America sucks. So, wow, this is going to be a pretty good video. Now we're about to get into why she believes certain things. It's probably along the lines of socialism, because every time I watch these videos, and I may be wrong, but a lot of the Democratic people who don't like the country, there are obviously conservative people who don't like the country, but the Democratic ones don't like it because of socialism ideals, such as we don't have universal health care, or they don't make enough money, probably. Something along those lines. I may be wrong though, but let's see.
Apologize to people for, how do you believe we're inferior to other countries, or what country do you believe is better than the United States?
I feel like Great Britain and France and Canada. I feel like those countries are are taking the high road. And I feel like everything I believed in is slipping away from me. And I've just been distraught these past 2 weeks. But everything I believed in, when I first fell apart, is the night when I realized about 8 o'clock that evening that Trump was going to win. And I thought, okay, I'm going to work with him, because he's my commander-in-chief. I'm going to try to get with him.
I appreciate that.
But then he just kept being more and more ignorant.
May I stop you for a moment?
Yes.
Really quickly, sorry. I don't want to interrupt, but I want to make sure that this thing keeps falling off. If you see it fall.
Don't let your stuff
I know, you don't want to see what's under here.
No, we don't want
No
to see
jawline. So you mentioned Canada, Britain, and France. So you believe they're better than the United States. Let me ask you this. You said everything you believe in is disappearing. You're a veteran.
Yes.
Did you serve to protect freedom of speech?
I did.
So what about the fact that those countries don't have freedom of speech? Only the United States does.
But you know what? That's not what I see right now. You only get caught up in what you see.
No. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you see as far as...
When I was there...
Well, no, but we have it
all over the place.
constitutionally enshrined here.
Yeah.
In Canada, the UK,
Yeah.
France, people are jailed for speech, for offensive things,
Okay.
or fined. That doesn't happen in the United States. We have a constitutional right to freedom of speech. They don't. So wouldn't you say that the United States, certainly as a veteran, if you were serving to protect freedom of speech, is superior to those countries, if only because we're the only country with freedom of speech?
But why I'm so distraught, it looks like we're getting ready to lose it. I mean, anyway, he's playing footsie with Kim and Putin, and applauding Kim for wiping out 3 generals the day before he came, and his people sit up. When I see that, I get nervous, because it looks like if nobody puts that dude in check, we're gonna lose everything. And I'm just sad.
Well, I understand that you're sad, and I'm sorry. I don't like to see anyone sad that you're feeling this way.
I'm sad.
But I'm hearing a lot of how you feel, but I don't think that's really objective reality. Freedom of speech is actually not being eroded here like it is. No, not unless the Democrats would have their way. They support hate speech laws. Republicans are the ones who've defended against it. On campus, they're the ones banning points of view.
I can't tell, because the kind of...
Well, you might need to put some conservative sites in your bookmark so you can read both sides, because I'm an ardent defender of freedom of speech. And as a matter of fact, I've had people who try to silence me, people here I feel like we've had a good conversation.
Yeah.
People here at this very convention who threatened to firebomb me, slash my tires, just for me speaking up. Because they're liberals.
I'm a liberal. I would never do that to you.
Well, then take it up with them.
I would never do that to you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
See, we're more closer friends than me and them.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody has a right to say what they want to say, but it's like when you start being offensive and hurting people, that's when I start getting nervous. But
I'll say this: she thinks that places like Great Britain and Canada are better than the United States. And she didn't really elaborate why she thought that yet. But I'll just say this. The U.S. doesn't get as much credit as it deserves. When you go to work every day and they take 30% of your paycheck to pay taxes, and they take, your social security, not your social security, but they take your home taxes, they take the taxes that you pay on your tolls, they take all this money from you. Do you know what we do with that money? We use it to fund our government, use it to fund our institutions, and then we use it to fund our military and our social services that actually help other countries. So the places that you think are better than us, we are helping them thrive. We are helping Great Britain have a military through the services of NATO, because Great Britain does not have a large military compared to the United States. We help these countries survive. Canada military. Let's look it up. Canada has 52,835 active personnel. Let's look at the USA military size. 2.5 million serving. So let's say an enemy strikes. An enemy strikes and they want to go after Canada. Let's say Russia tries to invade Canada. Russia has 1.5 active personnel right now. Canada and they have 2 million reserve personnel. So that's 3.5 million people in total. Do you think Canada's 52,000 people can fight 2 million people? No, obviously not. Obviously not. But you know who can? The 2.5 million people who give their lives every single year to fight in the United States military. So when you say, and you should know this, you're a veteran. You are a literal veteran. So when you say places like, Canada is better than the United States or Great Britain is better than the United States, you have to understand these places they exist because of the United States. Even Great Britain has 148,000 personnel. Come on now. Like you're a veteran, you should know this.
Still protected.
That's what. Still protected.
Just not in the countries you mentioned.
Still protected, and so it's like everything I believed in is slipping away.
But would you say that this is some progress in our conversation? It seems to me, and I'm not suggesting at all that you're ignorant. I'm Canadian, so I'm very aware of Canadian. No, but the point is, you suggested these other countries. It doesn't seem like you were totally aware that they don't have freedom of speech.
I wasn't.
So does that change your opinion?
No.
You'd want to live in you think a country with no freedom of speech is superior to the United States? See, that would be where we disagree. I think they're inferior with no freedom of speech.
I just think that we have a pig for a president, and he's making us look bad all over the world. He's ignorant, and I just wish that he would, I know he is who he is, and he deserves to be who he is. But it just is so, everything that I thought of that a president ought to be, he's not. And he's so rude and crude around the edges, and well,
I'll tell you what, and I say this respectfully because I still respect him as a president.
I do.
But for me, I felt that way about President Barack Obama. I felt as though...
You didn't think he was born in wherever that was Trump lied about, did you?
What was that? No, I don't think he was born in Kenya. No. I just think he was a terrible president, but I respect the office, and I respect that you feel that way.
He knew the King's English, and he knew the law. This dude don't know nothing. I don't even think he's a good businessman because he filed bankruptcy.
We have record low unemployment, record high job participation.
That's very nice.
We're doing very well.
What are wages?
They're doing really well. We have the highest. As a matter of fact, are you surprised to learn that the United States has the highest wages in the world? Average income?
I'm not surprised about that.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
I'm not surprised about that, and that's a very good thing, and I'm happy about that. But my thing is, okay, Trump, you didn't marry American. Trump, you didn't. You've got all those immigrants working for you. Mm-hmm. Most of the people that work for Trump.
Yeah, but there's a difference between legal and illegal immigrants. But
I know it. But what about Americans? I mean, you so pro-American. Let's see Americans with most of these jobs. And I know it's all these jobs that Americans don't want to do. I know that. I get that. Okay. But it's just that.
Well, I appreciate you taking that. I'm sorry to see you sad. Can I give you one piece of advice? Don't place so much credence in one man. You know what I mean? You're responsible for your own happiness. It's not the state. It's not the government. Do you have a family?
You just destroyed everything that I thought.
But do you have a family?
Was. I love my folks.
Do you have a good family?
Yes.
Focus on your family and focus on your health. I do think, even though I didn't like Barack Obama, I did notice a lot of people on the right were so miserable and they thought everything was over. Listen, it's one man. We have safeguards in this country.
It's one man and the Freedom Caucus.
Okay. She seems like a really nice lady. She really does. So I'm not gonna go too hard. I'm really not. She's a veteran. Thank you for your service. You served the country. Seems like a really, really sweet lady. It's kind of like a lot of brainwashing I noticed in her rhetoric. I'm not trying to really go in depth about her critiques of the country because there are critiques of America. There are critiques anywhere you go. I'm going to be honest. There are critiques. But it's just the framework of it. It seems like she's not really giving Americans the benefit of the doubt, especially conservative Americans, or I guess in this instance, Trump-supporting Americans. She didn't like Trump, and then when the guy Crowder told her that, there were record high wages, the unemployment rate is low, the country's doing better than it ever was under Trump, she said, not good enough. And it's okay if it's not good enough. Let's say you do have critiques, but at least be fair in your critiques. Don't just move the goalposts when you hear something that you don't like. That's not right. But let me know what you guys think of this video. Comment below. My name is LFR JoJo, and I'll see you on the next one.